Hello, welcome back to Dirt Rag TV. We're here now with Carl Schlemowitz of Vicious Cycles, and he brought two creations with the 650B wheel size, or I'm sorry, 27.5 as Carl prefers. Carl, have you come up with a catchphrase other than 27.5, or you like going with that?
The 27.5 mountain bike is what I'm referring to them as. When I was actually first approached by the person who developed the tire, Kirk Presenti, he was referring to it with 650B, and I didn't, as a mountain biker primarily, understand what 650B actually meant.
Right.
And then once he described it as a 27.5-inch tire, of course, things actually made a lot more sense to me. And I started thinking back to 29-inch wheel mountain bikes and how referring to them as 700C mountain bikes didn't really click with the mountain biking crowd as far as the terminology.
You think people would confuse them with, a hybrid or
Yeah.
a touring bike or something like
So,
that? In that respect, it makes sense. What made you interested in building a bike with these wheel sizes?
I mean, as a company, my products have always been about fun, but also we pay attention to the niches that may be overlooked by larger companies. And the reason for that is I feel that different terrains lend themselves to different riding styles, and everybody has their own riding style. And if we can be able to contribute to more people having more fun on bikes, I'm all for it. And I thought that the positive aspects of the 29-inch tire and the positive aspects of a 26-inch tire may be blended with this tire size. So
Specifically,
that excited me.
Specifically, what do you think those are, the positives?
The positive geometry that's in a 26-inch wheel mountain bike as far as handling characteristics, and then also the acceleration properties of a smaller wheel, and then the rolling properties of a larger wheel for
being able to get
29.
over obstacles and that.
Also, the shorter wheelbase of these bikes relative to a 29-inch bike, I think, will make the bikes a more comfortable riding bike.
So, have you gotten to ride one of your own creations around in the tight, twisty trails of New England?
I haven't ridden it actually off-road yet. I've only ridden it slightly, but I'm very excited about it. So,
I'm actually excited to try one myself. I haven't got to be on one yet. Have you sold any yet? Have you got any feedback from
yeah,
customers?
actually one of the bikes that's here is sold.
Is
the one that has the yellow paint motif with the orange slices.
Those are beautiful paint jobs, by the way.
Thank
are those
you.
one-off creations, pretty much?
Those are one-off creations, all hand-painted, and we've went with very whimsical paint themes this year.
Yeah.
Again, going back to my roots of fun.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to make a full suspension version using 27.5?
I could see it being something that would be something we could develop for the future, but I don't have any present plans,
Right.
so I wouldn't rule it out.
Okay. How? It's called the Mambo Sun.
Yes.
That's the model, the 650B model. And your 29er model is called
The Motivator.
of course, yeah. The Motivator. I sometimes think of it as.
Our 26-inch model is Metal Guru.
Okay. What do you think? Do you think this complicates things for the industry, having now 3 wheel sizes? Do you think that people are going to adjust to that in terms of being able to have parts available? I mean, just now, finally, we're getting a range of products available for 29-inch wheels. Do you think people will be, I guess the real question is, will it be quicker to develop?
I don't think that it would be a problem for the industry, because I think that cycling has always been a sport that is subject to trends.
Yeah.
And not that I'm saying that this is a trend. I'm not trying to sideline it. I'm saying that the cycling industry accepts new things and is open to new products. But at the same time, I think that it's going to best serve the customer. I'm very excited about the riding characteristics of the bikes, and I think people will have a lot of fun on them. So.
If you think about the motorcycle world and how many bicycle things come from motorcycles, you know, disc brakes, suspension designs, there's a lot of different wheel sizes in off-road motorcycles. You know, you get the front wheel bigger, you get different types, you know, different sizes for different terrains, or different applications, I should say. And to me, it makes sense. I just wonder how much resistance, you know, there was some resistance with 29ers because I'm sure, you know, the bike shop folks don't want to have to deal with stocking this model tire in 3 sizes.
We displayed a 29-inch bike in the 1999 Interbike show, and I think there was more excitement than resistance. So
You think?
I don't get the feeling that there will be resistance. I mean, there will be some shops that will say, great, we have another tire size to stock and that kind of stuff. But I think that by far the positive will outweigh any kind of negatives as far as that goes. And now that 29-inch tires are accepted as mainstreams, the concept of a new tire size is not an alien one to the consumer. Because it's not just the bike shops that we have to educate as far as this goes, it's the consumers too.
Yeah, and it's nice that Pacenti was able to get the tire already. I think it makes a lot of sense for sizing customers. When I worked in a bike shop, I know that trying to get a whole range of people on a bike with one size of wheel, just looking at certain bikes, they didn't make any sense. You know, looking at putting someone that's 6'7" on a bike with 26-inch wheels, it just always seemed wrong.
Right.
So this seems like it'll sort of fill in that gap, you know.
I do totally agree with that. I think there's a lot of people that find the 29, they want the positive handling characteristics of a 29-inch wheel, but the wheel is a little bit too much for them to handle as far as their body frame size. So I definitely agree with you as far as that goes, but to me that almost, I mean, it's great to be able to accommodate more people, but I just think that the tire can stand on its own merits as far as the size.
Okay.
So, and the more I think about it, the stronger I feel. So I'm itching to get out on the trail.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Carl, for joining us. And we're going to take a short break.
Thanks for having me.